Hello everybody, welcome to my channel and thanks so much for clicking on this video. So I was greeted by these beautiful crotons at the Vienna airport when I arrived there earlier this week for a short business trip to the United Nations in Vienna, Austria. Now, since the United Nations building itself is quite vintage and gloomy, although you wouldn't say so when you see it here from the outside, since it was a very sunny period in Vienna, it's a typical 70s building with a lot of low-light spaces and offices. So I was wondering whether they would have any houseplants in there, and if they did, what kind of plants would they have chosen given the low-light situation they would have to live in. So let's explore the building together. Now we are off to a good start because when entering the building we are greeted by these beautiful Chinese evergreen plants that look great because they still get a lot of light from outdoors. Now their cousins in the central lobby still look okay but less full because they get a lot less light than their relatives at the entrance. In another more sunny corridor of the building, the aglionemas look more full again, and they are joined by some type of plain green sansevieria, now called Dracaena, enjoying their life in what seems to be a leca substrate, and also a whole bunch of peace lilies. And these peace lilies look okay, but obviously they don't flower because of the lack of light. Here we got a different species of sansevieria with very beautiful creamy yellow edges, and as I said, the building itself is very gloomy, but it was an exceptionally sunny day which the plants clearly enjoyed. They also had a lot of ZZ plants, and you might have noticed that all the plants in the building, and there were actually a lot of them, are indeed houseplants that can survive in low light situations. So it's good to know that the United Nations took some time to choose the right type of plants for their building. And what's even better, they chose to keep actual houseplants and not these fake plastic ones that I'm not really a big fan of. Now, aglionemas were obviously a United Nations favorite, but then I stumbled upon these Dracaena circulosa or gold dust Dracaena, a somewhat less common houseplant that's also very tolerant to a low light situation. Now, not all was well at the United Nations. Quite a few ZZ plant stems had been removed, as you can see here, and some containers with aglionemas had obviously seen better days too. So it's comforting to see that even the United Nations sometimes struggle with their houseplant situation. Each time I visit a public building like this one or an airport, I'm always giving attention to the plants that grow there, because not a lot of people seem to notice them or seem to care about their presence. And by the way, these beautiful guys are some type of Schefflera, if I'm not mistaken, and they are in great shape since they are right next to a big window. And here we got some more Dracaena circulosa with beautiful spotted foliage, and at the bottom there's even a baby popping out of the leca. These huge plants with very big and thick stems seem to be another type of Dracaena, I would say, but I'm not entirely sure. In any case, they got a very lush foliage situation going on because of all the direct sunlight hitting them. Now, at the bottom of the plants, I see some tag that makes me think that these plants are being taken care of by a private company, so in a way the United Nations are cheating just a little bit. They also displayed a whole wall of these stunning variegated Schefflera plants in great condition, enjoying the spring sun. And this must be a VIP Aglaonema since it got its own container. Maybe it belongs to the Secretary General of the United Nations, who knows. Now clearly the plants that were doing the best were the ones close to the windows. You can see how they are working on numerous new leaves like there is no tomorrow. In my personal experience, Aglaonemas are actually not easy care. I'm planning to do a video about them, but I should do it soon if I want to have any plants left to show at all. Now, this United Nations building in Vienna was actually a huge complex of very tall buildings. And when I walked through it, I noticed that there were houseplants everywhere, even in the darkest corners of some hallways or offices. Which is a good example of the fact that even if you don't have a lot of light, you can still keep some houseplants. You just gotta choose the right ones who will survive or even thrive in a lower light situation. And of course, it does help if you can put your plants in self-watering containers like these ones right here. These dracaenas here are so tall that they almost reach the ceiling of the building. I would say it's propagation time, but I'm pretty sure that the United Nations are not really into that. The only point of criticism that I would have is that with all this space they could have tried to use a bigger variety of plants. There are other low-light plants like spider plants, different types of trailing pothos plants, or even cast iron plants, or my favorite houseplant, the philodendron, that they could have used. But overall, I have to say I was happy to see that an effort was made to fill such a big building with houseplants in good condition. Alright, we are back at the Crotons at the Vienna airport. That's all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and or subscribing to my channel. Thanks again for spending some time watching my videos. I wish you a very nice day and I hope to see you back soon on my channel. Bye bye.